welcome back to my channel. So today, I'm coming at you with some horror slash thriller recommendations for the season of fall. More specifically, this is kind of like a Stabathon edition. So I'm going to be doing horror thriller recommendations of books, obviously. But I'm going to be going through all of the prompts for Stabathon. So if you don't know, myself and my best friend here on BookTube, Cammy from Borrows and Books, and Sav from Riveting Reads, we're all hosting a readathon called Stabathon, and it combines all things horror movies and books. So we have a little bingo board which I'll put on the screen, and I'm going to be going through all of the prompts for the bingo board and kind of giving you recommendations. At this point in time, there should be an announcement video plus my TBR video should be up on my channel. And the readathon is running from October 4th through the 10th. So at the beginning of the month, it ends on my birthday, which is October 10th. And yeah, like I said, I'm just going to be going through all of the prompts from the bingo board and giving you recommendations of books that I've read or that I haven't read but that do fit the prompt. I am currently drinking a Heineken. I don't know, I had a beer when I visited Jan. I think it was a Stella, and I kind of liked it, and this is pretty similar to a Stella. So that's what I'm drinking right now.
So I've been having to say sentences repeatedly already a lot, so this should be a fun video.
But yeah, this is a Tipsy horror thriller recommendations video. Not me just having a whole conversation with Cammy like on voice message while the camera's going. Alright, so let's start. So like I said, at this point in time, there is my TBR video for Stabathon should already be up. So I believe that all of these books are not in my TBR, so these are all other recommendations of books that you can read for Stabathon. So the first prompt was Chucky Child's Play, and it's to read a book involving children and or dolls.
Burping, holy shit.
So I won't be going into too much of like the synopsis for each book. I'll give a brief summary. But yeah, like I said, the first prompt was to read a book involving children and or dolls. So for this one, I have a mountain of books next to me, so I need to figure out where these books are. The first one's No Exit by Taylor Adams. I read this in I think like 8 hours. I think it took me to read this. It's a really quick read. This is set in 24 hours, and it's basically about this girl who is stuck at like a highway rest stop with a whole bunch of different strangers, and they find a kid locked inside a car, and I guess someone that is in the rest stop kidnapped this kid. So that's what this book's about. It's set in less than 24 hours. Really amazing, and it involves a kid, so you can read it for the Stabathon. The next one that you can read for that prompt as well is The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware, and this is one of my favorite thriller books. So this is one of those books that you can't really tell whether the book is supernatural or if it's like real things happening, like a murder, like a real life thing. So this one is a I guess like a retelling to The Turn of the Screw, and it's about this woman who becomes one of those nannies that lives at like the location where the kids live. So obviously it has to deal with children because it's a nanny. She has to take care of kids, and the kids in this book are really creepy. So you can read The Turn of the Key, one of my favorites. So the next one I don't own. When I read it, I borrowed it from the library. I read it this year. This is one of my favorite books of the year, and it's the Mary Shelley Club. And this one is about a girl who had something kind of traumatic happen to her. She moves to a new school, and in this new school there is a little like film club, and it's all about horror movies, but they also do different things, and usually what they do is kind of pranks to kids, but they're kind of like horror movie type of pranks. So they take things that happen in horror movies and kind of recreate them in real life to other kids in their school. But once they do some of these pranks, they take it a little too far. So I adored this book, and I read this book in less than 24 hours, so it was amazing. And it has to do with kids, they're teenagers, but they're in high school, so I guess you could consider this kids. The next book is My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix, another one of my favorites of the year. And this one follows two high school sophomores, and these two girls have been friends since like kindergarten or 4th grade. They've been best friends since 4th grade, and in high school as sophomores something weird happens, and my best friend, so the main character's best friend, becomes possessed, and it's amazing. Obviously has to do with kids because they're high school sophomores, and like I said, one of my favorites. This is set in the 80s, so the setting is amazing, and like I said, one of my favorites of the year has to do with kids. You can read it for Stabathon. A really good read. The next one that has to do with kids, I guess, they're also high school kids, so they're like teenagers, and that is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. This girl, as her senior project, she chooses to kind of revisit this cold case type of murder thing that happened in their small town. It was solved, but she believes that they accused the wrong person, so she takes this as her senior project and she tries to prove that the person that they accuse is not the right person. So this is an amazing book also. I read this very, very quickly, so it's amazing for readathon. The next one is Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. Again, these kids are kind of like in high school, so this one follows Stevie, and she's kind of like a prodigy, or like what is that called? Anyway, she's really, really smart. Basically she's like a Sherlock Holmes type of person, and she's really good at like clues and resolving crimes and all of this stuff, and she is sent to these like this prestigious academy called Ellingham Academy, and there's this huge murder that was never solved at Ellingham Academy, and she decides that she's going to solve it, and it's like many years later, like decades later, when she tries to solve it. And then at the same time, weird things are happening when she gets there to Ellingham Academy. So another really good one. This is a series, and I will be reading the 4th book in this series for Stabathon. The next one is One of Us is Lying. Again, these are high school teenagers, and it's about these 5 kids that go into detention, and one of them dies in detention, and they're blaming the other 4 kids. They accuse them of having to do something with this murder. And this one is a really, really fast read. I don't recommend the sequel. It's not that great, but this first one was pretty good. There's some problematic elements in this, so I just want to like make sure that you know that before reading this if you're going to pick it up. But yeah, it's going to be turned into a TV show, so you can watch it after, and that's my rec. And the last book that I'll be recommending for this prompt is Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. This is my favorite Riley Sager thus far. I have yet to read his newest one. This one kind of follows this woman, and her father wrote a book about their life when she was younger, so there is an element of kids because we have flashbacks of when she was a kid. But basically they move into this house, and it's kind of like haunted. It's one of those books that, again, you don't really know whether it's a haunted type of thing, if it's supernatural, or if it's someone doing these things, like a real life person. So basically her father writes this book, and he passes away. He gives her the house, and she goes to the house to kind of flip it and resell it. But then once she gets there, she has so many questions, and a lot of weird things start happening. So yes. The next prompt for Stabathon is going to be Halloween, and it is to read a book with black or orange on the cover. And actually, I guess I have the first book that it's on. This is the book that I'll be reading for Stabathon for this prompt, and that is Survive the Night by Riley Sager. I'm gonna try not to give synopsis for all of these because I've been filming for way too long already. But this one's kind of set in 24 hours. There is a campus killer. This girl's in college, obviously, and somehow, some way, she's in a car, and she believes that the person driving this car is the campus killer. That's all I'll say, so I'm not talking for too long. But yes, black and orange on the cover also, obviously. Another book with black or orange on the cover is Burn Our Bodies Down by Rory Power. This one is about a girl. It's set in a little small town, and it's good vibes. It's thriller vibes, mystery vibes. I don't really know, like, I can't remember that well, like, the plot about this book, but all I remember is this girl, and she doesn't really know her family, and she kind of goes to this really small town to visit her grandmother, and some weird shit starts happening. If you've ever read any other Rory Power, you know it's going to be weird. This is hitting, apparently.
This is not a good time for me to be texting back my Tinder matches. Fuck.
The next prompt is Friday the 13th, and it is to read a book set during the summer. So the first one that I have, oh, I don't have physically because I was sent an e-arc of this, and it is The Girls Are Never Gone by Sarah Glenn Marshall, and this one is set in kind of like a haunted mansion. This girl runs a podcast, and she's going to this haunted mansion because there's a whole bunch of unsolved cases that happened in this mansion, and basically she's going for like a summer program because this summer program is trying to like clean the mansion and kind of get it ready to become a museum, but she has another agenda. She's trying to do her podcast. So it is set during the summer, and it is really creepy. It's supernatural, so it's a lot of fun. Another book set during the summer I do have here. It is The Night Swim by Megan Golden, and this one also has a podcast element, and it is also obviously set in the summer. And this book follows our main character. She's obviously a true crime podcast person, and she's basically visiting this small town, and there is a rape trial that is happening, and it's kind of tearing everyone apart, and she's covering it. So that's basically what it's about, but there's also like another unsolved cold case murder that happened in this small town, and it's kind of like two different cases kind of being intertwined into one story, and it's set in the summer. So alright, the next prompt is Carrie, and it is to read a book with supernatural elements or vibes. So for that we have Dark and Shallow Lies by Ginny Myers Sane, and this one is a arc that was sent to me kindly by Penguin Teen. Thank you so much. I believe this book is already out. It came out August, so you can get this, but this one kind of has to do with psychics, and it's like this little small town, and the whole small town, it's like full of psychics, and all these kids have like these abilities, like psychic abilities, I guess. So this also follows kids, so if you want to read this for the first prompt, you can also. But it's kind of all of these kids, they're really close friends, and it's like 10 or 12 of them that are really close, and one of them goes missing in this really small town, and it's kind of magical, and it's kind of like a swamp setting, and yeah, it's supernatural, and it's really cool. That's all I'll say. So another supernatural book that you can read is Rules for Vanishing. This was also sent to me by Penguin Teen, and this book is by Kate Alice Marshall, and I believe this follows ghosts. That's a supernatural vibe in this, ghosts, but I don't know anything about the plot, so yeah, but it follows ghosts. I don't know if y'all peeped my earrings, but one of them's black and the other's white, and they're little ghosties.
I don't know. Am I okay?
Another book with supernatural vibes, well, I guess you don't really know whether it's supernatural or real, but that's Home Before Dark by Riley Sager, so you can also pick this up for that prompt. And another one also that has supernatural vibes that I already mentioned is The Girls Are Never Gone by Sarah Glenn Marshall. And then another one is The Last House on Needless Street by Catriona Ward. This was kindly sent to me by Torn Nightfire. Thank you so much. And they also sent me this cute little pin of the cat from the cover. And my little cat, his name's Salem. And it's the cutest thing, and it's on my jacket, and I love it so much. But this one, I honestly have no idea what this book's about. But it says up here, it says, in a boarded up house on a dead end street at the edge of the wild Washington woods lives a family of 3. a teen girl, a man who drinks, and a house cat. Unspeakable secret binds them together, but when a neighbor moves in next door, what is buried out among the birch trees may come back to haunt them all.
Cute.
I'm definitely planning on reading this in October for Gabby's book club. Gabby reads, and I believe there's something else that I wanted to read this for. It might be another readathon, can't remember, but I'll definitely be picking this up in October. Okay, so the next prompt is Psycho, and it is to read a slasher, and I only have 2 recs on here because I don't read a lot of slasher. Like, I've never read a slasher book, so this will be my first one, and I'm actually reading this for Stabathon.
Holy shit, I'm a little tipsy.
And that is the Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix. And this one, oh, not the motorcycle. Like I said, I'm myself reading this for Stabathon, and this follows a group of 5 girls, I think. I don't know if I'm just pulling that out of my ass. I don't know how many girls, but it follows a group of girls that go to this kind of support group, and it's all about final girls. They're all final girls. They've all like experienced like a traumatic event where they're the only person standing, and then one of these girls from the support group goes missing, and they can tell that they've been targeted. So that's what this one's about. Like I said, I read My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix earlier this year, and it was so gory and gross, but also funny, and I can't wait to read this because I have a feeling that the scenes where they're like in the support group and like kind of talking about their feelings are going to be so funny. Like, I just can't wait to read this book. I'm super excited. Another slasher book that I can recommend, I haven't read but I do want to read, it's Camp Slaughter by, I believe his name is Sergio Gomez. Obviously I haven't read it, I don't know anything about it. The only thing I know is that it's a slasher, and it's by a BIPOC author, so that's all I know, sorry. And the last prompt is Get Out, and it is to read a book by a BIPOC author. So obviously Camp Slaughter is a recommendation there. Obviously I haven't read it, but it's a slasher, and that's all I know about it. But you could also read, so it cut me off, so I had to start recording again. But for the BIPOC author prompt, you can read any book by Silvia Moreno Garcia. So a couple of creepy books that she has out are Mexican Gothic, Though It Was the Night, and also Certain Dark Things. This was actually sent to me by Tor Nightfire, so thank you so much again, Thor Nightfire, for sending this to me. But these are all the creepy books that she has out. Also, I don't think I've mentioned during this video that for all of these prompts, if you're able to get away reading something that it's not mystery or horror and you want to do that for the readathon, you definitely can. Like, you can read any book by a BIPOC author. It does not have to be horror or thriller, but I'm recommending some creepy things for y'all if you want them.
Oh my god, I'm really tipsy. How am I that tipsy off of one? Like, I'm not even done with this, but I don't know. I don't drink often, so yeah.
Another book by a BIPOC author that you could read is Cemetery Boys by Agaton Thomas. Yeah, this one's a little bit more supernatural and like witchy type of vibe. So basically it follows this boy. He's a transgender boy, and basically his Latinx family doesn't believe that he deserves to be a brujo because he's transgender. So that he has to deal with that. And then some things kind of go wrong during this night where they kind of awaken spirits, and some spirits are like awakened, and he kind of meets one of them and becomes like friends with him and all this stuff. And yeah, I love this book so much. Another book by a BIPOC author that you can read is Ace of Spades by, ooh, I always struggle with that name, Farida Abike Iyimire, I think. And this one has been compared to like Get Out, which is the name of the prompt, so that's fitting. But this has been compared to Get Out and Gossip Girl, and it's basically about the only 2 black people in this very like prestigious academy, like for rich people, and it follows the only 2 black people in this school, and they're kind of being targeted by this like I forget what the alias is. I believe it's Aces. Someone going by Aces who is kind of telling everyone like secrets about people in this school and things that could really hurt other people. So yeah, it's kind of like a Gossip Girl vibe, and it was really good. It's very queer and I loved it. So those are all of the reading prompts for Stabathon. Also, I forgot to mention that in the bingo board there's some prompts that are not reading, so they're more activity wise, like pictures or cooking, stuff like that. So I hope you enjoyed all of those recs. I hope that you picked something up that I mentioned in this video. And please, if you have a TBR and you film a video or take a picture of your TBR, make sure you tag us or send it to us so we can see it. But yeah, I definitely hope that y'all join us for Stabathon, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And I'm gonna go finish this little bit of Heineken. I don't know. Thank you for watching this video. I love you so much. Yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Cheers.